And we're live.
Good morning. Hello, everybody. Hi, Beth Cat. Hi,
It's
Jane.
my coffee.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. I was two-fisted this morning.
Jane and Beth. So while we're waiting on people to come in, I have to show my birthday present Johnny sent me. I've been wanting one of these, and I I saw them on Amazon, but they were like acrylic. They weren't as pretty. But he sent me a water drum. It's hand painted on both sides, and it's like embroidered on the edge. The ribbon around it is embroidered, and it's got like holes in it with mesh that holds the beads in, but holes to let the sound come out. But when you roll it slowly, it sounds like a babbling brook, and when you roll it faster, it sounds like the ocean.
Beautiful.
I love these. It's so
Thank
pretty
you,
too.
Johnny. It's
Thank
so
you, Johnny.
beautiful. Oh, my
I,
God. It's
I'm
beautiful.
staying with it. I
Yeah.
I have to learn how to do it real
They
slow.
take a little bit of time, right? I have a
Yeah,
couple different ones. Yeah,
I
yeah.
love I love ocean sounds, but I love that babbling brook sound it makes.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
there's Johnny. It's so awesome. Wow.
Oh,
So
everybody's awake. Well, ish, right? We're awake-ish.
for week is your get up and go gone. we have we have so many astrological changes. Planets keep moving signs and getting an aspect to each other. It's just kind of a draining time energetically.
Yes. 100%.
It,
It
it
is.
almost asks us to take a step back, reassess a little bit. Um, it's funny because I pulled out some cards. It's like if if you need to retreat, do that retreat, rest.
Oh, I love the
Um,
Four of Swords, the retreat and meditation card.
yeah,
Beautiful.
mull things over, regroup. Just kind of best saying definitely ish,
I
awake
love
ish.
that.
Because that retreating gives us a time to get a new perspective on things, and that's where we get our strength from. But I also wanted to pull out the Tower card because Saturn moved into Aries. Saturn to me is very Tower cardish. It's about letting go of what no longer serves you. Just let it go. When things start crashing around you, just let it crash.
Right. And
you
it's
know,
not pretty. It's not a pretty time necessarily. Yeah, that's some big
it
energy.
can be more minor crashes, like a friendship that just kind of falls by the wayside. It's like just let it go, because a lot of times when you let things go, new friendships come in that replace it, that are healthier and more balanced and um,
Yes,
more
definitely.
more loving.
Yes. Yeah, I think it's a great time to kind of check what you're giving your energy to. Like you're saying, it's a time to let go, a time to examine and go in. Um, but what are we giving our energy to? Like, what's draining us? Where are worst sources of drain? Is it work? Is it friendships or relationships that don't fit us anymore? Is it that we spend our time in really stressful ways or unhealthy ways that don't connect us? I think that's, we have
Someone's
to
asking
stop
about
and examine.
geomagnetic forms, how it factors into astrology. I have no idea. I'm not an astrologer. I know enough to know the implications of different planets and how they can affect me and my chart,
Mhm.
um, and others, but I'm not an astrologer. So go on an astrology channel and ask them that.
Or
And
if
for
there's
Apple,
anybody in the chat that's more focused on astrology, yeah. And I've heard a lot about like the sun flares, the solar flares, the geomagnetic storms that we're having are like just we're going like upside down. But I'm not an expert in it either. But I try to follow. Okay, this is another factor. This is another thing to watch out for. Another thing to prepare for. I think just
The
prepare.
geomagnetic storms can screw up your computers and things. So probably
Mhm.
very Mercury oriented is what I
Yeah.
would think. But also, if you're new to Sacred Sounds of Coffee, we this is not like Petty Boots Sunday night political questions. Sacred Sounds of Coffee, we talk on different subjects every first Sundays of every month. We do this once a month, and at the end we do a little meditation and a sound bath. Gail does all the sound bath instruments, so hopefully you'll stick around with us for that. But we're just chit-chatting and sharing our thoughts, our ideas, trying to help
Laughing.
everybody get through.
Yeah, a lot of laugh and spiritual chit chat.
It's funny talking about my rain drum or water drum. Um, I keep thinking about a quote of Shakespeare: "If music be the food of love, play on, play on." It's like I just keep playing my sound drum. I love it. The cats are even like getting attuned to it when I do it a little rougher and it sounds like an ocean. They're like, "Oh, what is that?"
Yeah,
But when I do
yeah,
it
it's a little
nicely, they're like,
alarming. That's
"Ah."
like the gong, the giant gong can do that. If you hang with it, it's got a very Mother Earth resonant sound, but it could be pretty alarming. But yeah, when I start playing the bowls, I will draw the animals from wherever they are in the house, and they'll be laying by the bowls within a few minutes. It's awesome.
It's funny because I call the Four Swords the tortoise card. It's like you have to go in, you have to pull your legs in, pull your head in, pull your tail in every now and then.
Yes.
And then when you come back out, tortoises don't just don't, and start moving. They come back out slowly and they get their legs out and then they might take a step,
Right.
moving slowly to get their energy going again. Remember, the tortoise won the race, right? So sometimes we have to be a tortoise. We have to go within and always wonder
Mhm.
what's a tortoise thinking about in there. He's got to
Yeah,
be
in there,
the
yes.
leader on the planet. Should be a good power totem animal for us to.
Absolutely. For that deep meditation yeah, kind of the guru of the animal totem. The
So
could have a meditating tortoise.
I've been seeing it a lot in personal readings. I've been doing a lot of people that are just feeling sluggish, taking naps more, and um, trying to find ways to get their energy going again.
Yeah.
And I always tell them, for me, like it, and I'll do it between readings. If I start feeling sluggish, like I need a nap between readings, I'll try to go for a quick walk around the block to get my circulation going. If
Mhm.
I get my heart pumping, my circulation going, that
Yeah.
will wake me up sometimes. But sometimes, man, Thursday on my day off, my guitar teacher was out of town, so I didn't have a guitar lesson. I'm cat sitting for him. I laid down. I was out for a nap in the
Yes.
afternoon. I was like,
Oh
wow.
my goodness. Yeah, me too. I on Tuesday I worked straight. I work a 9 to 5, but Monday through Friday. But I've been working another job weekends, and Tuesday hit, and I came home from work, and I fell asleep. I couldn't even get into bed. I fell asleep on the couch till about 8 o'clock. Took myself to bed. I did not wake up. I must have slept 14 hours. I mean, I was wiped. And I've just been feeling that heaviness. I think everybody's feeling, a lot of people, just, why am I so tired?
I
Yeah,
was feeling it last night because I'm usually a night owl. I'll stay up till 12, 1, 2 in
me
the
too.
morning.
Yeah, yeah,
And I fell asleep last night on the couch about
yeah.
8 o'clock. And I woke up and I thought, what day is it? Where am I? What time
Yes,
is it? Like I had no clue where I was. Um, and it was
100%.
about 12:30 at night. And I got up and fixed something to drink. And then thank God, after about an hour and a half, I was able to go back to bed. But I slept so much, and I'm feeling that like if I sleep too much, it's hard for me to get my energy going. I'm like,
Yep.
okay, after Sacred Sounds of Coffee, I got to go mow the yard. So I got to
Right.
get the energy going.
Right. Ashley, yes, I recently acquired this beautiful hand drum. Yes, they are
I,
beautiful.
I
They
have a
are
smaller one.
absolutely beautiful. I am kind of working it into my other sound, but it's not there yet. It takes a bit of learning, and they're beautiful though. That sound is incredible and just healing and feels very warm. Those are beautiful. Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
You know, Gail uses, singing bowls and
Mhm.
uh, her chimes and her gong and the handpan drum and all
Yeah.
kinds of things for the sound bath. So stay tuned for the sound bath at the end. Um,
Yeah.
so we were talking a little bit in the pre-show about boundaries. Sometimes when people are pulling at you and trying to control you and draining you, the energy vampires that kind of drain us sometimes. It's a signal. Wait, I need to set boundaries with this person,
Mhm.
not let them run all over me, because that can be extremely draining.
Yes, for sure.
Gail, talk to us a little bit about Spark.
Oh, yay!
I'm
Woohoo!
plugging for her
So
shamelessly.
we were,
Um,
I know. Thank
we
you.
don't mention it every Sacred Sounds of Coffee. In fact, I don't think we've mentioned it for about 6 months. But there's
Yeah,
there's a section in it that's perfect for
it's
today's
true.
topic.
Yeah, yeah. So, in
By the way, if
2020,
they want to, Gail, if they want to
yeah,
buy
yeah. So
Spark,
I got mine too. It's on Amazon. So Spark, a heart-centered journey. And I wrote it and released it in like 2023. And it's wellness, it's self-examination, but chapter 2 is
self care,
about building a toolkit to kind of keep yourself uplifted, keep yourself steady, you know, just, kind of all the things you can do, all the areas, and it's all self-reflective work. So it's not me telling you, hey, do this. It's in this area, how does this work for you? What do you need in this area? Blah blah blah. Like it's just, kind of all the areas where we need to uplift ourselves, steady ourselves. So, you know what I have? So, yeah, chapter 2 is about kind of building a toolkit for yourself. And it goes through all the different areas, your physical self, your spiritual self, your, you know,
postal.
yeah, humor and relationships and all these areas where we kind of need to keep a solid check on what we need in life. But it was so interesting. So I was out with the dog this morning, and Crow is a very uh, supportive guide for me, and I do not have crows where I am, so I'm always kind of hoping for the crows. So I heard a crow this morning, so I came in and I thanked her. I'm like, "Thank you, confirmation, thank you, crow." But I pulled MJ McCullonane's the Urban Crow, but it's the expansion deck. There is a card called Stability, and absolutely beautiful. But I thought that's what made me think of Spark. I was like, oh my God, that connects so well. But she talks about there was a substantial, so she saw a crow in her yard with a substantial stick in his mouth, and he was gathering twigs after a windstorm. Um, and he had an abundance of options because there was stuff everywhere, but he was very, very carefully picking the strongest sticks, that stability that creates a strong foundation. um, and even when change is happening, even when storms happen, these sticks that he is choosing, are gonna bring him strength, bring him an ability to endure challenges. And that's honestly what the toolkit is meant to do. So in chapter 2, I talk about, kind of finding those big sticks in your life and building that strong nest, building that toolkit of strength and support for yourself. So it was really
It's
cool. I was like,
the
okay,
kind of the magician in tarot. You have the
yeah,
tools.
channeling.
You just have to put them in your tool belt.
Yes,
Uh,
exactly.
this may
Exactly.
be book day. I'm grabbing books right and left.
Awesome. We got books
I just
everywhere.
happen to have them handy for those who don't understand the power of animal totems, or they don't have to be animals. They can be insects or birds or whatever. My favorite book is Animal Speak
Oh, I
by
love
Sid
that one.
Andrews. Yeah, Animal Speak. A lot of times, like animals will keep presenting to you and presenting to you. My power animal is the owl, or the hawk, which is the daytime equivalent. Um, but I'll have other things, insects and animals that show up for me at different times, and they'll keep repeating. They'll keep showing up. Um, and sometimes I'll use the book as a tool in my tool belt to find an animal to meditate on to help me gain some aspect of myself that I feel like I'm missing or I'm struggling with.
Yes.
So, ants kept showing up in my house when I lived in Pennsylvania. They kept coming in the front door, going down the entryway into the kitchen, and could not get rid of them. Could not get rid of them. Tried everything until I looked up the meaning of ants and started reading about how they work in teams and everything. And I'm like, oh, it's about teamwork. As soon as I got the message, the ants went away. Never got them in the house again.
Isn't that
And
always
I
that
lived in that
happens?
house for several years.
Yeah.
Just went away.
Yep, and that's like me with the crow. Like they just don't come around here. It's just not crow conducive where I am, even though I love them with my whole heart. But this morning, crow, and it was loud. I'm like, thank you. Okay. So
You can have
I'm
a
like that. And I got in the message, get the deck, get the expansion deck. So I was like, okay.
You can have an elephant or a tiger or a lion as your power animal, your power totem.
Absolutely.
They don't have to be near you.
No, not at
You can
all.
you
Not at
can put
all.
them around you with artwork.
Yes. It's so powerful, whatever the energy is that you need to focus on. And that's a great rebalancer too. Your animals, your totem animals, your, kind of drawing in the energy of whatever you're focusing on. Oh, giraffe, I love that.
Refilling my
Oh,
cup.
innocent potatoes here. Hi guys. But it's
So
beautiful. Yeah. It's the animals. Oh, they're always around. I have images everywhere. That energy is really powerful for me.
I think too, we underestimate the power of the mind, and our mind gets stuck. It gets set, on certain things. We have certain beliefs and some certain morals and certain thoughts but same way with, okay, my mind's made up. Am I going to stay in bed today? Is my mind made up to give in and stay in bed all day? Or is
Yep.
my mind made up? I'm going to get up and just go for a walk to the mailbox, something
Right.
just to
Yep.
move a little bit. So
That's
mindset set, healthy mind, healthy body, as they say, right? So it's
yes.
very important to watch what your mind is telling you,
Yes.
what you're telling yourself in your mind, how you talk to yourself. Oh, I'm not worthy of something happening, good happening to me. Okay, relanguage that immediately. It's like, I am worthy.
Yes.
It all starts with self love, but I have to really watch how I language things in my brain.
Yes. 100%. And I think, on those mornings when I'm like, ugh, even the tiniest step, like you said, mailbox for me, can I make it to the coffee pot and make something super yummy and just enough to start? All you have
Get
to
the
do is
shower.
start.
Let me just get the shower, feel that
Yeah.
water on my body. That'll wake
Yeah.
me up.
Yes. 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 Yeah. It's for sure. It's
I, I'm fortunate now that I'm out of the corporate world. Yeah, I worked in the corporate world for 40 years and I did readings on the side and healing energy work, all my metaphysics stuff on the side. Um, but I started doing it full time after the last layoff. I worked in retail, so every every 4 years it seemed like I was getting laid off again. Retail took a bloodbath, and so many have closed. And I was like, I want to read full time. And I'm fortunate I don't have to do those 6 a.m. alarm clocks anymore.
Right. Oh my
I am
gosh.
not a morning person. It's
No,
like
me either. Me
I,
either. And I'm a 6 a.m. alarmer. So
even if
it's
I
rough
sleep
going.
until 9, do not talk to me till I've had my morning coffee.
Yeah.
It's like I'm like, yeah, I'm a slug in the morning. Johnny will tell you
I,
when I go to Oregon. When I hook up with him, I'm like, coffee. Like that's the only thing I can say out of my mouth. Coffee.
yep. Yep. I
It'll
am
get me
so
going.
with you. And I do have, I still am in the work world, and I work with really amazing, fun people, at least in my immediate office, and they know me, and the staff know I'm super goofy. So, I'm like, just put up, staple talk to me after 10, little post-it on my forehead. I'm like, you know what, whatever you're going to tell me, just put it here. When I wake up, I'll get right on it. It's just, yeah, it's hard for my brain. Just, it takes a bit in the morning. And I'm the one that always stays late, does stuff at night. Like you said, I'm a night owl too. But boy, the mornings are rough.
Those people that only need 5 hours of sleep a night and they
No.
get up and they work out before they jump in the shed. Yeah, I'm like, oh no, no. I used to
No.
travel with people like that for work, and
Ugh.
it's like, yeah, don't be calling me at that time to go to the
And
gym. No,
they're always perky and lipsticked at like 6:30.
but I'd watch them. Like they'd fade out at night. They wanted to
Yeah,
be back in their
right,
hotel room, back in bed, and I was like okay with late dinners and stuff. I always
right.
did well in those
And
kind
it
of.
takes all of us, right? It takes all of us. I mean, it's important to,
It's
whatever your
important to
jam
be
is, don't try
diverse.
to put your jam on somebody else.
Yeah,
Oh
you know.
boy.
Okay, I had some books. Let's see. My favorite that I'm hooked on
Oh,
right now, Velvet
the
Dragonflies,
dragonflies.
Billy Chapata. Um, just one from him today, and then I have a Mary Oliver. You're a multidimensional being. You could never be loved in just one way. You're constantly evolving, so the love for yourself will evolve too. There's no wrong in wanting to be loved in a language that is fluent to your soul. Never try to force me into your vibration. If we're not on the same wave, every ocean is different, and you're not obliged to swim in one that feels uncomfortable for you, and neither am I. Respect
Yes,
each other.
it's
You know,
exactly.
you don't you don't have to like someone like that. Their personality just isn't. You just don't mesh with them. They have different interests, and
Yeah.
you have different interests. And sometimes, those kind of people, like sometimes they complement your life. Sometimes it's like, no, it just doesn't mesh. Um, it's okay. You don't have to swim in each other's oceans.
Absolutely. And it's important to know what your ocean is, like to know
Yeah.
how you really feel, because we're so used to, like, especially like I'm a social worker and a therapist, we're like in a more a setting where you really like education, where you really need to be of service to others, and you don't always attend to what do I really want, what do I really think, because you're so used to serving other people. So it's really important to know what your own ocean is. That's always, and stay attached to it and stay connected.
And I think, like when you get tired and where you're wanting naps and things, it's good to give into that a little bit. But if you go down a rabbit hole with that, it can lead to some serious depression and things. So,
Yeah.
if you need to see a therapist or someone to help you through that, do it. If
Yeah.
you need medication or something to help you through that, do it. Do what resonates with you. But if you can pick yourself up out of it and start to move forward again, that's okay. But Mary Oliver, from her book A Thousand Mornings, we love Mary Oliver on
And
this
we
on
love
our
Mary
Sacred Sound.
Oliver. We should start a Mary Oliver show.
This is called Today. Today I'm flying low, and I'm not saying a word. I'm letting all the voodoo of ambition sleep. The world goes on as it must, the bees in the garden rumbling a little, and the fish leaping, the gnats getting eaten, and so forth. But I'm taking the day off, quiet as a feather. I hardly move, though really I'm traveling a terrific distance. Stillness, one of the doors into the temple.
Nice.
So even when you're quiet and still, you may be traveling with your guides, with your ancestors, with your angels.
Yes.
I love
It's
her.
heaven. I love her. She is absolutely the best. And I think when we when she talks about that connection, I feel like she's talking about connection with spirit. I think a lot of times when we get beat down, when we're feeling, ugh, I feel so exhausted, I feel so ticked off or stressed out, I'm eating unhealthy, we've detached from spirit somehow. And I think when we're connected, the quiet times are more fulfilling, the all the times are more fulfilling. I think sometimes we need to look, ooh, did I detach somehow? Am I further away than I normally am from spirit? And that's why I'm so aggravated and exhausted, and all the different things that kind of take us away from our true heart.
This is another one I love of hers. The sea can do craziness. It can do smooth. It can lie down like silk breathing or toss havoc shoreward. It can give gifts or withhold all. It can rise, ebb, froth like an incoming frenzy of fountains, or it can sweet talk entirely, as I can. And so, no doubt, you can, and you. It's like we can be like that ocean. Is it storming? Are we like, whoa, whoa, look at the big waves, right?
Right.
Are we calm and kind of glistening and
Yes. Right, right, right. And it's so interesting to have that huge wave on top. And if you're 10 feet down, it's pretty calm. Do you know what I mean? To remember that this is just surface. All the chaos is just surface. If you had a big thunderstorm on the ocean and you're way down, just looking up like, huh, that's interesting.
going on up there?
Being centered. Yeah, what's going on up there? Huh? Because I
Yeah,
think
for
that's
me,
the rest of the world, right? That's the outside world. And we could just be down like, okay.
that's a great analogy. It's like, oh, let me just ride the wave a little bit, you
Yeah.
know. Um, yeah, one of my things that I love to do to escape a little bit in my quiet moments is to read. And to me, reading a good book is like being with a good friend or having a conversation with a friend. It's
Yes.
like it's a little bit of escapism, but it's also I'm learning something, from the characters in the book or whatever. Everybody in the chat, write down a book you've read recently that you've enjoyed. This is one I keep going back to. That one of my clients actually said it to me. I picked up on she was a writer the first time I read for her, and this was one of her first books she published called "Stumbling Towards Grace"
Nice.
by Rosalia Scalia. Um, it's a collection of short stories, and she can write about characters and uh, put some twists in it, unexpected twists in it, which is like us, right? You think you know me, let me show you another side of me, right? It's like we're multi-dimensional and stuff, and just the way she writes, her prose is just sings to my heart.
Oh,
Everybody is different. Becca likes, gory books and stuff like that. That's what gets her going. She loves all those kind of adventure stories.
hmm.
I love like the classics. I love modern literature too, but I'm more into drama, occasionally comedy. I'll read one
Hmm.
that speaks to me, but this one, she it's short stories, so I could sit and reread a short story and um, takes me
Nice.
away out of myself for a little bit, and then I
Right.
reflect on, oh wow, I do that. Wait a minute,
It's so
or I've seen
important.
someone like that. Yeah,
Yeah. The books are invaluable for pulling you out of the moment every once in a while. Yeah,
I think it's
definitely.
important to, like, when you need help and you reach out to a friend, you allow yourself to receive help. A lot of people like will reach out They'll tell you all the drama going on, but they don't allow themselves to receive any help with it. And it's like, sometimes we have to say yes to someone helping us. There are times where we like to help, we like to give, we like to help somebody else. Well, there may be something the person that's trying to help you is learning from the situation too. So don't be
Definitely.
afraid to say yes when someone offers help.
Yes. Yes.
And it can come from unusual places. I was when I started reading full time, I was trying to schedule everything by email, and I got backlogged. Hey, Rosie, I got
She's
so
here.
I got so backlogged that I had like 2,000 emails. I couldn't keep up. And my guitar teacher's wife asked me if she could build a website for me. I was like, yes.
I
She
remember that. That was awesome. That was a
automated
game.
everything, took hours out of my weeks of having
Yes.
to mess with emails all the time. It was a miracle because that allowed me more time to read. I didn't have to keep doing all the
Right.
emails and stuff.
Right.
That's
Yep.
Rosie.
This is Rose. She likes to be on camera and she'll cry till she's picked up. Ooh, Stained Glass Tarot by James Edward. Thanks. Thank you, Johnny.
Anybody else reading a good book, share it in the chat. um I love comedies every now and then. I
Yeah.
love
I read
things
old
that kind of
mysteries
harken to
like
nostalgia a little bit every now and then. I
yes.
love historic fiction too.
Yep. Me too. That's another good one. Um, what have I read? Historic fiction. There was a um, the grocery store, the Heaven and Hell grocery store, something like that. That was really interesting. Um, I just finished the 10,000 Doors of January. That was a really fun read. That's kind of um, fiction, but kind of through time. That kind of it was really really interesting. A lot of time changes, a lot future and past, like future we haven't seen yet, which is really cool. But I love when it just pulls you out. She's
there,
quiet now. She just wanted to be held. Look, she's completely
there's
quiet. She
books
cried
that
for
like
like 15 minutes.
oh man, there's
No, she
books that hang on that you just like. I go back to and I reread because they become like a friend. That it's not every year, but I there are certain books. A lot. Most of my books I'll give away to the local library after I
Mhm.
read them. But there's certain books that they stay on my bookshelf because I go back to
Oh
them. I
yeah.
go back to
Yep. Yep. There's what did I do like Return of the Goddess in the Fall. That's like just a novel, but I always that it's a really old one. But yeah, I do. Um, oh, a lot of Louise Penny, like that's because there's like a set of friends. There's a lot of food involved. Like it's a mystery, but it's like a comfy. You kind of feel. If you do a series, you kind of feel like, oh, my friends. And I'm going to that diner we love, and I'm going to eat stuff and drink stuff, nice cappuccino, and
uh, I'm sorry to say I can't think of the author's name, but the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society. When I read that, I can't think of her name. Elizabeth something. Anyway, I reread that book immediately. It was like, I
nice.
can't let my friends go. I've made
Yes,
friends with all
I
these
love when
people. I can't let them go. And the author ended up passing away right after she finished the book. She wrote one book
oh,
and passed away.
wow.
Um, but another favorite of mine is Kay Gibbons. She's another, somebody's talking about somebody from the Carolinas. She's from North Carolina, I believe. But she writes about her family and experiences and things in fiction. And her book, Charms for an Easy Life, is a wonderful, that takes you back to remembering your grandmother kind of energy.
Nice.
There's comfort in that, right?
Yes, 100%. And that's, a lot of where we need to be. Like, I think, when we get in that place of exhaustion, like that loss of comfort, loss of, you know, don't not bringing things to us that bring us comfort. We forget, we stop doing the things we should when we get in that headspace or that exhaustion space. but comfort is a huge piece, whether it's reading, whether it's sitting with a cup of tea, whether it's walking, with the trees. That comfort piece is so important, no matter how little it is, I think.
Arlene's talking about the Celestine prophecy.
Oh, yeah.
I got so into that when that came out, and bought the workbook and everything that went along with it. That was an outstanding book.
Yeah. And
Something
Women
else
Who
we were.
Run with the Wolves. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's another good one. And her voice to me was always so soothing. Sometimes it drives people crazy, but I love, what is it, Pincola Estes, right? Women Who Run with the Wolves. She's got a lovely voice. Very
that was
soothing
like
to me.
that was like me. She's going back to the classics.
Yeah.
Um, there's also, we've talked about this in the pre-show too. I gone into the kitchen to get something and then came back and started. Yeah, my guides send me songs all the time as messages, and I all of a sudden, out of the blue, Dobie Gray singing "Drift Away" was running through my head. I said, "Hang on, I got to pull up these lyrics. I think I'm supposed to read them during this." And um,
I love that song. And drift
it,
away.
it's day after day, I'm more confused, yet I look for the light through the pouring rain. You know, that's a game that I hate to lose, and I'm feeling the strain. Ain't it a shame? Oh, give me the Beat Boys and free my soul. I want to get lost in your rock and roll and drift away. And give me the Beat Boys and free my soul. I want to get lost in your rock and roll and drift away. Beginning to think that I'm wasting time. I don't understand the things I do. The world outside looks so unkind. So I'm counting on you to carry me through. And I think that, music can do that. It can send us,
Absolutely.
it can drift us away somewhere else. So you need to hear a song today, go play that one.
Yeah. Music connects you to source. It connects us to our heart. It connects us to our inside. I love that song.
It's
That's
like I came back, I said, I just got an angel message. Hang on.
I love it.
Pull up the
Yep,
lyrics.
yep. That's
That's the
awesome.
way, like, a lot of people don't recognize messages when they're coming to you. And if you pay attention to synchronicities and messages and acknowledge them more, I like to call them angel messages, whether it's my guides, my angels, my ancestors, whoever's giving it to me. Um, I I pay attention to it, so I notice them more. And I always remind people, pay attention. Like, don't.
Yes.
Yes, yes, that was an angel message.
Yes. If you're being handed a song from 1972 or whatever it was,
Yeah,
that's an angel message. Like that's a message. Like, what am I hearing right now? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, but I agree,
Absolutely.
Beth. The lyrics are so accurate for right now. And
Mhm.
yeah, Calgon, take me away. Remember those commercials or whatever?
Yeah,
Like, take, I need a bubble bath. Hang on. Sometimes we just gotta drift away, put on some music.
absolutely.
That's another great way, to get your energy moving too. I like to dance in my kitchen. I'm
Yep.
always, when I'm doing dishes, I try to put on music that keeps me going.
Yep. 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 That's the only way I can get the laundry done and the vacuuming.
So, shall we do a little meditation?
Yes, that is perfect. Talk about pulling away and pulling into our hearts and souls. Yes.
So for those new to watching, I always light tea light candles for meditations. When I do meditation candles, I like to let them burn all the way down. I don't use jar candles or pillars or votives. I get the little shorter tea lights that only burn about an hour and a half. They've got some that burn like 3 hours. I buy the little bit shorter ones, and I have to put them on a shelf where the cats won't get burned. But I only burn them when I know I'm going to be home and not set my house on fire. But I always, when I'm doing manifesting candles or meditation candles, I always burn tea lights so I can let it burn all the way down. I never blow them out unless a tornado's coming. And for those who would like to light a candle with me, feel free. I have a certain set of 4 archangels that I work with a lot that I call on. You can feel free to insert names of any other archangel energies or guides or anyone else you would like to invoke in the beginning. Um, just to kind of clarify too, because somebody asked me this in a personal reading the other day, why do I work with these four angels? I work with others also, but these are the four main ones I work with. Raphael, obviously, as a healer, I love working with Raphael's energy, the ultimate healer. Michael, the protector. Michael also helps with healing if it's a disease like cancer or MS or something like that. So I pull Michael in when I'm doing healing energy work too. Gabriel, because Gabriel announces things. So if you're trying to manifest things like a new job, Gabriel will announce it, like get your attention to it, like, hey, listen to this one. And Ariel helps with creative things. So when you need inspiration, or say I'm playing my guitar and I'm struggling learning a piece, I call on Archangel Ariel to help me to learn it. I also call on John Denver, but I call on Archangel Ariel to help me, when I'm doing something that's creative. So painting, writing, anything that's creative. So Archangel Raphael, Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Ariel, we surrender to your mercy, compassion, and healing. Thank you for allowing me space and the time to heal. Thank you for acknowledging when I need that space. Thank you for the inspiration to move my energy forward when I am ready. Thank you for bringing my attention to when I am ready to move that energy forward. Thank you for the help I receive from others and for showing me ways I can help others. Thank you for drawing my attention to little daily miracles and synchronicities. Thank you for my happy, healthy, whole mind, body, and spirit. that last tone always just holds so long. It's so beautiful. You know, I, towards the beginning, you hit my throat chakra, and I just want to remind everybody the throat chakra in everyone is the most clogged chakra. We all have to bite our tongues at sometimes, especially in this political environment. With our neighbors, with our people out in public, um, co-workers and everything. There's a lot of times we have to bite our tongue, and it clogs up the throat chakra. So anytime when she hit a tone that hit my throat chakra, I started coughing. That's how I know, oh, she's hitting my throat chakra. Hang on.
Yep.
If you do a little like that, that'll clear the throat chakra. Or I didn't want to do this while you were doing the meditation, but the sound bath. But you could also tilt your head back and yawn real big. That'll open up the throat chakra. So anytime you find like oh, I'm getting strangled a lot, or it's not sinuses draining or whatever, just be aware our throat chakra in almost everyone gets clogged up.
Yes, 100%. And that's a very energy. When I do energy work, that absolutely clears it. And sometimes when you're working on people, you clear it for them too. Clear. I start coughing, and I know it's their stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you can be on the heart chakra, and you'll trigger tears in people sometimes that they didn't realize they were hanging on to a trauma. And you hit that throat chakra, and they start coughing or whatever, and you're like, hang on, let me get you some water.
Yes, we did. I did a lot of throat and solar plexus and third eye today. So, yeah.
Well, thank you everyone for being with us.
Thank you.
Sacred Sounds, a copy will be on Spark Soul Therapy, Gail's channel. If you're not subscribed to her, get over there and subscribe to her. In July 6th, I think it is. It's right after Independence Day. So again, we do these first Sundays at 10 a.m. Central Time every month, unless one of us is traveling.
Yep.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Good to see everybody.
Thank you, Gail. I love that sound bath. That was beautiful. I have to go back and listen to it now that I quit coughing.
Yes. Thank you. Bye, everybody.